Susokukan. This is the foundation to zazen, the Zen practice of sitting meditation which every Zen student goes through. This is the technique to develop the powers of focus and concentration without a doubt. We are going to get quite technical here, so let's get started. Hello there. Welcome to Meditation Methods, a place where we explore methods to deepen our level of consciousness towards an enlightened life. In this video, we'll cover the essential methods of Susokukan. Susokukan is the method from the Zen tradition and is arguably the most important meditation method to start with. It serves as a foundation to all other practices. As Roshi puts it, it is the first step as well as the final destination of zazen. That's quite a bold claim, but let's look at this technique further to understand why. This is an object-based meditation where the meditation focus is the breath with the purpose to develop concentration. The result is supposedly the development of laser-sharp focus where you could be aware of your breath even without conscious attention. How exactly is this done? So let's cover the method next. Being the foundation of zazen, za meaning sitting and zen meaning meditation or absorption practice, the physical posture is to sit in a full or half lotus position with the hands in the cosmic mudra. But if the legs can't be in the position for a prolonged period of time, sitting on a chair works too. Just be sure to sit at the front half of the chair with a straight spine. The purpose is to ensure wakefulness and reduce the chances of dozing off. Now, this posture is much emphasized in zazen, but the key thing to note is that in every posture, as long as you are able to relax and focus the mind, essentially that's the whole point of it. And in your seat, it's important to have an attitude of reverence, have pride in your posture, and know that the whole of heaven and earth are sandwiching your buttocks. It does sound a little goofy, but a sense of importance in practice does help with building that focus, psychologically segmenting the thoughts that arise. Be careful not to develop this idea to the extent of getting the ego creeping in. Now that we've covered the physical posture, now onto the posture or the direction of the mind. The meditator is to follow the breath throughout the inhale and exhale. This can be done by guarding the breath at the entrance of the nostrils or by being in touch with the sensation of the in and out breath. Now that we got the posture more or less settled, let's cover the counting. We have these three simple rules. Do not miscount, do not be distracted, and restart from 1 when either you miscount or you get distracted. These are very simple principles, but you'll soon know how challenging it is when you try it out. The advised method is for the beginner to start counting to 100. When that can be done, the practitioner can then practice by counting to 10, and consequently, stop all counting together. That doesn't make sense, does it? Well, maybe it does. Suzuki Roshi aptly states that to concentrate the mind is not the true purpose of Zen. More advanced practitioners will progress through Susokukan with other methods, forgetting the counting altogether. If you're interested in other methods of zazen, please let me know and we can cover this in the videos to come. So I've been practicing meditation for years now and would not consider myself new to breath counting techniques. First encountering it maybe in 2014 through reading Philip's book, The 3 Pillars of Zen. This has been an integral part of my practice. So Philip discusses the method by counting only up to 10, and I usually utilize this technique when I get utterly distracted and find myself unable to have the slightest bit of concentration. But usually, I count up to 10 for at most 3 cycles. So the difference is, in this 7-day exercise, I decided to give the 100 count cycle a try. 7 days straight. I managed to hit 80 count on the first day, only after a couple of tries, but could never hit 100. It was good to know that I had lots to improve on, and this gave me an objective indicator of my level of focus despite years of practice. You could say that you've been meditating for years, but how can we know for sure if we are growing in our practice? Well, the benefits of having an objective indicator like this does help with allowing some humility in our practice and motivating us to improve further. Call it counting scores, but as long as we do it with a view towards continuous improvement, I really see nothing wrong with this. You notice the drastic improvement from day 4 to day 5 onwards. I felt like I cracked the code. So on day 5, I could count to 100 keeping the 3 simple principles, and just to be sure, I repeated it 2 more times successfully. I definitely felt like I have developed my Sammai powers. And the secret, well, it's pretty obvious, but hey, let me share it with you. I meditated on an empty stomach and within 1 hour of waking up, so I wasn't very sleepy. In contrast to the previous days, which was done after working for at least 8 hours on my day job. Doing it under those conditions made it pretty hard for me to focus, frankly, and I was frequently dozing off. I guess it's pretty obvious, but as much as meditation improves our concentration, if our external conditions are not conducive, we are not giving ourselves that opportunity for best practice. Apart from the environment, which was the major breakthrough factor, let's also cover the other challenges which were pretty much constant regardless of environment. Obstacle number 1 was that I tend to control my breath or I made it into some sort of rhythm. Although it helps with counting, it really is not the point of this exercise. It's crucial to be an intimate observer, not a controller of the breath. So how do I get out of this? Is by catching myself and refocus on the sensations, on the movement of the air, the body, of the sensations that arise. Second obstacle was rhythmic counting. It was like a tendency that my mind would go off to, and it got pretty bad to the extent where I was not even counting my breaths. My focus was so off, I had to start from 0, as my mind was attached to the beat of counting. So it's important to guard the breath. This can be done by keeping attention on a specific area of the body, like the tip of the nose or the upper lip. The third obstacle is the arising of doubt on whether my count was correct. I would say the count and then have this common train of thought, whether the count was correct or whether I was doing everything correctly. And to prevent myself from getting caught up, I acknowledged the doubt with 20% of my awareness and used 80% of my awareness on the breath, consequently moving up to 100% back to the breath. Acknowledging the doubt helps me be a distant observer and allows for space back to the breath. I've also noted that if the level of doubt is so high, then there is no point in continuing the count, because chances are my mind would have been sucked into the doubt without even realizing it. And if that happens, best to restart back to 1 without any sense of aversion, of course. And lastly, the anticipation of hitting 100. This is similar to the doubt which we have discussed earlier, and it can be overcome by 1. Acknowledging its existence, 2. Observing it, and 3. Refocusing on the breath. And last but not least, please try it yourself. There are tons of benefits observed when I did this practice exclusively. It definitely built my concentration from the get-go. And over time, if you're observant, you realize that you can split your focus, majority onto the breath and a small part of attention onto thoughts or a small part of attention onto sensations. This is quite a neat mental phenomenon, and I think that if this faculty evolves, I may be able to split my focus into more aspects and be more aware as a whole. Last but not least, a level of equanimity is cultivated here, even though focus or Sammai development is the main purpose of this meditation. The fact is, to be more focused, we have to be equanimous and undisturbed. So there you go. I was surprised to experience the cultivation of equanimity in this practice. But that surprise is nothing to Suzuki Roshi, who said in the book Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, that The true purpose of Zen is to see things as they are and to let everything go as it goes. If that is not equanimity, then I don't know what is. And he ends it by saying that this is how everything is put under control. Thank you for having this session with me, and please let me know in the comments below if you would like to know more about other methods or maybe more about zazen. Let me know. And of course, please mindfully hit the like button. It would help with the YouTube algorithm very much. Stay safe and be at ease.